PRS Silver Sky versus the Suhr Classic Antique. Let us compare. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe and comment below. I love talking to you guys. So I'm holding the Suhr first because it's the guitar I got first. I got it about 5 years ago when Suhrs were at a very different price point. I bring that up first because that was a big issue with Silver Sky owners as to why they were paying such and such amount without getting a hard case. I remember the same thing happened with my Suhr, which initially weirded me out, but then the padded soft case came and it's a quality soft case, so I use those more anyway, whatever. I do have awesome G&G cases, which you can see in the back. I'd recommend you get one because they're just really, really nice and really well crafted and they look really cool. That being said, I'll probably carry my gig bag to the gig. I also bring up price point because the cost of this guitar 5 years ago was dramatically different than it is now. Even used, these things go for quite a bit more than a Silver Sky used, which when you find a Silver Sky used, the price drops pretty dramatically. In both instances, they're not super cheap instruments, but in both instances, they are fantastic instruments. So as I'd mentioned, I'd gotten the Suhr first, and it had been after I played Fender for a long time. There had always been these little design issues, nothing that would ruin the experience of playing guitar. It was just one of those things where I just happened to notice I wonder why that hasn't been fixed yet. And when I found Suhr, it was as if John Suhr had every issue that I had, and he fixed them all. What are those issues? First of all, he didn't use a string tree. He used staggered tuners, which is just like a duh, I guess. He used a flatter fingerboard radius as you get up the neck, kind of retained some of the little bit rounder radius down here. He had a contouring here as well as an angling of this so you could get up high. It has the humbucker single instead of just single coils. Single coils have that silent single coil system, so they're shut up. It just overall feels really thought out and really well crafted. All these things are what drew me to Suhr in the first place. What drew me to the Silver Sky, on the other hand, was a lot of the similar things. A bit more unique of a design, even though they're both obviously derivative. This one's headstock different. The birds add a touch of class that I really enjoy. This one also having a cutaway just in a different area achieves the same thing. This doesn't have any silent single coil anything. It's just they're loud. So I switched out the bridge pickup since that's the rock area anyway. So let's start the comparison. The first comparison matters a lot to me, and I see it a lot on Reverb.com. On nicer guitars, you see the weight. The Suhr is about a pound heavier than the Silver Sky. If I was only playing one set, maybe two sets, I wouldn't really care. But a lot of the gigs I would play would end up being 2, 3, 4. It would just be a variety. And on the longer gigs, the heavier weight really starts to hurt. I don't really want my guitar to be incredibly light or incredibly heavy. I would like it on the lighter side, just for how my body works. Everyone has a different opinion about weight. I'm just saying the Silver Sky seem to be quite a bit less in weight than any Suhr Classic I've seen. Maybe due to that weight, or due to the silent single coil system, the Suhr is a bit beefier of a sound, which you'll see in a little bit. They're both very resonant guitars, but there's this low end boom that the Suhr has. Sometimes that's really helpful. Sometimes it's tough to dial out. The Suhr also sounds a bit it sounds familiar, but quite modern. The Silver Sky sounds a little bit more classic, albeit a little modified. Aesthetically, the Suhr looks a bit more exactly like an S-style guitar. The Silver Sky, however, it has the birds, the very different headstock, and of course that PRS front cutaway. Lastly, unlike the Suhr's compound radius that's 9 to 12 inches, the Silver Sky is a 7 1/4 just the entire way. I thought I was going to hate that. I honestly thought I was going to hate it because I played a U-shaped telly, just a huge boat neck with a 7 1/4 radius at some point, and it was like playing a Coke can. This does not play like that. The Silver Sky actually plays really, really nicely. People like to go, you won't be able to bend up a minor third on the high E. Well, I don't do that much anyway. I would do it on the B string, which you can get away with on the Silver Sky, so whatever. I will say that certain technical things will be a little bit more difficult on the 7 1/4 radius. Not impossible, though. You might just have to slow down a little bit. You might not be able to get away with much. For someone like myself, who every now and again will go through I love legato shred phase, it's kind of nice to have a guitar that'll shut me up. So there you have it. You've heard both back to back. I think they're both great. I think they're just both great and different. Again, you can get a Silver Sky for much, much cheaper than you can get a Suhr. And you can even modify the Silver Sky and still have it be cheaper than a Suhr. That being said, if the extra price isn't a deal breaker for you, they're both fantastic instruments. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys next week.